Hello Dragons, welcome to day 3 of Unit 4. It's entitled HOYVUX. In just a moment, I'm going to tell you what all that gobbledygook means. Before we begin, I'd like for you to have this paper in front of you. We need to get some very basic stuff down. I don't mean to insult anybody's intelligence, but there are some things that we need to know today. Specifically, we need to be able to identify a horizontal line. A horizontal line, which I have highlighted here in orange, is a line that runs true east and west. Horizontal. It's kind of like we're looking out at the horizon. If we look at the horizon, our eyes are going from east to west. True east-west is a horizontal line. Vertical lines are ones that go true north and south, straight up, straight down. That is a vertical line. If a line is slanting, it does not fit into either of these categories as horizontal or vertical. It has some kind of slope to it that is not zero or undefined. Okay, so this would be an example of a slanting line. Anything that is not straight would be classified as a curve. So I believe with this information, you're going to be able to fill this out rather quickly. So once again, horizontal. I'm going to put a horizontal right here. Horizontal lines go true east-west. This one is vertical. I'll put vertical right here. Goes true north-south. And this one is slanting because it is a line, but it's not horizontal or vertical. And this guy is not straight, so this guy is a curve. Okay, it says curved line. I'm just going to say curved. Okay? Now, let's go to our notes. Let's figure out what this HOYVUX stuff means. HOYVUX, the letters are going to give us clues as to what we have. Okay? So let's look at HOY. First 3 letters. H stands for a horizontal line. We just talked about horizontal lines going true east-west. So I have a big line drawn across here. Okay? A horizontal line. And the O is we're going to translate that into a 0 because a horizontal line has a slope of 0. And then the Y is going to tell me how to construct the equation. So the equation of a horizontal line that has a slope of 0 starts with the letter Y, and then it's just going to equal a number. You're not going to have an X in the equation. Y stands alone, and this is going to be a number. So let's take a look at these guys right here. I look at this equation. I notice it only has a Y. There is no X. So automatically I go, hey, that's the Y in HOY. So that means that I'm going to have a horizontal line. Well, where is this horizontal line going to happen? Well, let's take a look at our table. In this particular case, every single Y is going to be equal to 2. So I'm going to have a 2 for this guy, I'm going to have a 2 for this guy. Every single Y is 2. You see how the equation tells me that all my Y's are 2. Now, you may ask, well, Mr. Mahalik, what are the X's? The X's, whatever number you want. Let's pick 3 random numbers. How about -2, 0, and 3? Now, if I were to actually come over here and plot these points, this first one would be 2 to the left and 2 up. This point would be 0 left and right and then 2 up. And this would be 3 to the right and 2 up. Notice, what kind of line do I have? That's right, I have a horizontal line. See how it's running true east-west? Okay? So, if you want to verify this with your calculator, go to your Y equal button and just type in a 2, press graph. I bet you get this thing right here. So now let's go ahead and fill in these extra things right here. A 0 is an x-intercept. Take a look. Does this line cross the x-axis? It does not. So if there does not exist a 0 or an x-intercept, I'm going to put DNE. You know what that stands for? Does not exist. Okay? How about a y-intercept? Yeah, buddy, I got a y-intercept right there. So my y-intercept is just 0, 2. And I'm finished with problem number 1. Okay? If I take a look at this one, once again, I have an equation that starts with y, so I'm thinking HOY, and it doesn't have an x. So I know that I'm going to have a slope of 0, and I'm going to have a horizontal line. You see how these 3 letters, just by looking at this equation, I know all of this already. So what do I know about all of my y's? They're -3's. All of them. Okay? What do I know about my x's? Pick your favorite numbers. 1, 2, 3. Now if I graph these points, 1 to the right, 3 down, 2 to the right, 3 down, 3 to the right, 3 down. Once again, I've got what kind of line? This is a horizontal line. Does it have a 0? Does it cross the x-axis? Does it not. Does not exist. Do I have a y-intercept? Yes, I do. 0, -3. All right? Go ahead and try this one right here. All right. So now, again, I notice I have an equation that starts with y that doesn't have an invisible x. So, I'm thinking HOY. All of my y's are 0. What do I do with my x's? Pick a number, any number, doesn't matter. -4, -2, and 3. If we plot these points, -4 0 is right here, -2 0 is here, 3 0 is here. This looks like I've got a horizontal line that's actually right on top of the x-axis. It is the x-axis. So how many zeros do I have? Well, I've got all of them. So I'm going to say all numbers. This one is kind of fuzzy because a 0 is usually a specific number. So don't worry about answering this one right here. We're just going to put all numbers and move on. What is my y-intercept? Well, it crosses the y-axis only at one point, and that's 0, 0. So that's HOY. All right? Now, let's look at the next 3 letters, VUX. So now we're going to come down here, and the VUX is going to tell us everything we need to know about, well, V stands for a vertical line. If you remember, vertical lines go true north-south. So a vertical line has an undefined slope. That's what the U stands for, undefined slope. There is no slope. It's not 0 because 0 slope is up here. 0 slope and undefined slope are 2 totally different things, just like this horizontal line is totally different from the vertical line. So we've got an undefined slope, and its equation is going to start with an x. There will be no y in the equation. Well, I'm going to have an x equal a number. So here we go. Ready? If I take a look at this guy right here, I go, this is an equation. It starts with x. There is no y visible, and there's a number. Bam. VUX should come into my head. I should know that this is going to be a vertical line. It's going to go north and south. It's not going to have a slope. There's no definition of the slope. I can't even put down a number. I'm going to write undefined slope. In the equation, well, it already starts with x. So here we go. What does this tell me about all my x's? All of my x's are 2. And just like above, how do we fill in the other column? Pick a number, any number, or number that you like. Doesn't matter. I'm going to pick 2, 3, and 5. And just out of nowhere. Now if I plot these points, I've got 2, 2, I've got 2, 3, I've got 2, 5. Notice they're stacking on top of each other, and they're heading true north, true south, just like a vertical line should do. Okay? Do I have an x-intercept? Do I have a 0? Yes, I do. I cross the x-axis at 2. So that would be 2, comma, 0. Do I have a y-intercept? Does this vertical line touch the y-axis? No. DNE does not exist. Okay? This one right here, again, I notice I have an equation. It only has an x and a number. I should be thinking VUX. I'm going to have a vertical line. All my x's are -4. Pick any y's over here, doesn't matter. When you plot these points, you're going to have a vertical line. Okay. All right, do I have a 0? Do I have an x-intercept? Yep. Crosses at -4. Do I have a y-intercept? Nope. Does not exist. All right, I'm going to try this last one. All right, here we go. I've got an equation that starts with x, and it's just a number. So I'm thinking vertical line. I'm thinking vertical. That's what the VUX. See the x in VUX? They all tie together. So I've got x equals 0. Pick numbers for y, and notice that my line actually turns out to be the y-axis. All right. So do I have a 0? Do I cross the x-axis? Yes, I do. I cross at the origin. And the y-intercept is just like the one up here. I have a whole bunch of y-intercepts, so I'm just going to say all numbers. Okay? So your notes are done. So now, before we get on to the actual practice, I want to talk about parallel and perpendicular, because you're going to see that in the practice problems here. Parallel, you notice that I have the 2 double L's highlighted because that reminds me of what I have. It's like railroad tracks. Okay? Parallel lines are 2 lines that run in the same direction and they do not touch. So if I look for lines that have no chance of touching each other, like this right here, these 2 lines right here are going to be parallel. So for number 2, we're going to do parallel. All right? Perpendicular may be a new word to you. Perpendicular, you can use that a lot in geometry. Okay? Perpendicular lines cross. All right? So you notice I kind of put a little plus sign. They cross and they look like a plus sign. They have a 90-degree angle in between them. It looks like if you could have a true north, south, east, west, little compass thing. All right? So if I tilt my paper for this guy right here for number 1, and I highlight this, okay, it looks like I could have a north, south, east, west, and this is 90 degrees right here. We can put a little box right here. 90 degrees. If that's the case, then you have perpendicular lines. So this one is perpendicular. Okay? So if I look right here and it looks, if I do that right there, I've got a north, south, east, west. So that one's going to be perpendicular. These 2 guys right here look like double toothpicks lying over there, railroad tracks. These will not cross. These would be parallel. All right? Now, if they cross each other, but they don't go true north, south, east, west, it's going to be just intersecting. So if I go over here, these right here, this would be intersecting. They do cross each other, but if I make this north and south, this is not true east and west. This is kind of like northwest and southeast. It's all whacked out, okay? So this one would just be intersecting. All right, let's get to the nitty-gritty. All right, I'm going to do a couple of problems, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to reference the previous papers that we talked about. I'm either going to reference HOYVUX, so have this handy. All right, we might see the word parallel or perpendicular, so we need to be ready for that as well. and also the first paper that we did. So let's do problem number 1. Sketch the situation. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch an X, Y axis real fast. If you have a ruler, that's fine. All right. So it says, what is the equation of the line that passes through the point -4, 2? So I'm just going to sketch -4, 2. I'm going to put a dot right there. Okay. So I want a line, and here's the key. Slope of 0. What part of our notes, what part of HOYVUX looks like 0? 0. Oh, 0. So right away, when I see that and I notice the O in HOY, I know that I need a horizontal line. How does a horizontal line look? It goes true east-west. So up here, I'm going to sketch a line that goes true east-west. This is what I have. Okay? So let's look at our equation. According to HOY, every horizontal line has an equation that starts with y. Okay? So I need to eliminate anything that doesn't have a y. So it's either G or J as my answer choices. So the question is, which one do I pick? Well, remember, look at HOY. I need the y. Out of these two ordered pairs, which one is the y? Remember, ordered pairs are x, y. And you'll notice that the y is 2. Let's pick J. Okay? How about this one right here? Sketch the situation. First thing, XY axis, okay? What do you have? You're going through this point, so 6 to the left, 1 down. Just estimate. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right. The key is undefined slope. Undefined starts with a U. Should I use HOY? No, there's no U there. Oh, how about we use VUX because it has a U, undefined. So right now, you should draw a vertical line. North-south. There we go. Let's keep thinking VUX, okay? If we're going north-south, we have an undefined slope. What does my equation start with? What letter? VUX, X. So I'm going to pick something that has an X in the answer, okay? And so now it's between 1 and -6. Which one? Well, look at your ordered pair. They've got to tell you this. The X is a -6. So let's pick this one right here. Okay? All right, a couple of more, and then I'll be done. I know this is a little long, but I wanted to be thorough. Okay? Let's do number 6 together. Sketch the situation. We've got our X and our Y. All right. So we've got the equation of the line that is perpendicular. All right, there's that word, perpendicular. So do we remember? Perpendicular. Perpendicular looks true north and south. This is what I want to have. Okay? Well, what am I perpendicular to? All right, I got a line. I'm perpendicular to the y-axis. All right, so this guy right here is part of what I need. All right? And the point, 7, 3. Here's 7, 3 right here. I'm just going to estimate that. Okay. So I want to be perpendicular to this guy right here, but I want to go through 7, 3. So if I draw a line that goes like this, is my pencil perpendicular to the y-axis? No, it's parallel. So I don't want this. What's my other option? My other option is to do this. So now, is my pencil perpendicular to the y-axis? My y-axis goes north-south. My pencil goes east-west. This is a perpendicular situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this right here. Okay? So now I have a perpendicular situation. See the cross? All right, plus sign. So I want this purple line. Is that horizontal or vertical? Should I be thinking HOY or VUX? The purple is horizontal. to the y-axis. So I'm going to do HOY. I should pick something that has a y in it. Y in it. So I'm going to get rid of B and A. All right. And so the question is, what kind of slope does a horizontal line have? Think HOY. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0. So I'm going to pick C. And I can verify that the y value is a 3. Okay? One more. All right. We want a line that's parallel to the x-axis. So I'm going to highlight the x-axis. All right. I'm going through -5, -9, so that's down here somewhere. That's probably, I got it backwards, but that's good enough. Okay? So the question is, if I draw a line going north-south, is my pencil parallel to the x-axis? No, parallel lines don't cross each other. So I don't want a vertical line. What if I do this? Is my pencil parallel to the x-axis? Yes, it is. So that's what I want. I want that guy right there. Now you notice, this one is also horizontal, but it used different words than problem number 6. Problem number 6 used perpendicular, and this one uses parallel, but I wind up both having horizontal lines. You have to sketch the situation. Please, please, please sketch the situation. So this is HOY. This is a horizontal line. It has a slope of 0, and it starts with a y. So, starts with a y, has a slope of 0. This one is also C.